So, this is the disembodied voice of Dan St.Yves, and for today's episode of Talking With, I'm with the cast, some of the cast of Uptown Country Girls, playing currently, as I record this interview, at Stage West Calgary. So, first off, thanks for, again, coming in between two shows. I always appreciate when the cast gives up their little bit of spare time on a Sunday. But we've got a fairly large cast here, and we're going to be all over the place, I think, as far as our conversation goes. So, first off, I guess we'll head over to Mr. J.B. Thibodeau. When you think of triple threat as an actor, it's usually singing, dancing, and acting, but you're a little bit of a different triple threat.
Thank God.
You are actor, director, and designer.
Yeah.
So is there one part of that jumps out at you the most, or you like to have a hand in all of it?
After doing this show, no, it's all pretty equal. I think I like the production side the most, but there's something about being on stage that you're always drawn back to. I don't think I can ever get rid of that kind of need to be in front of people. They're different balls of wax or whatever the adage is, but it's performance right now is really where I've been out of the spotlight for a number of years, and the last year kind of came back to the stage from being behind the scenes for a while, and so I figured this is what I always wanted to do. So 10 years later, here I am doing it.
So I think last you were here at Stage West, you were assistant director for
Correct.
39 Steps, which was a bit of a departure for Stage West from their standard offering. But is this idea of being so widespread with your talents just a survival tactic for life in Canadian theatre?
Probably. Definitely. I think that's where I've been fortunate in my career has been I've been able to make a career doing this and have some sense of normalcy with a wife and kids, and I can actually have a house and a mortgage and live in one location and do all these things that actors don't tend to get to do. So in that way, I've been afforded that and had the luxury of that, which is nice. I wouldn't change a thing, but there is that kind of, there's all that inner, I think every actor has that sense of you really want to see yourself succeed in the light you always saw yourself performing. And for me, it was performance on stage. So I want to do this. Fingers crossed I don't have to travel too far. I've been fortunate enough not having to, so I'm happy with the way things have turned out, and it works out well right now.
But speaking of traveling, the interesting thing, doing a little bit of background work on you, to back up just a tiny little bit, you got introduced to theatre in a Northern Ontario mining town. How does that come about?
I'm from the home of Shania Twain. Yeah, I'm from Timmins, Ontario, so definitely traveling. When you live in the north, the only where to go to theatre is the south. So Toronto and the peninsula were my home and roots for my post-secondary education. So that's where I was.
Very
and then ended up out this way.
It's a bit of a segue, but did that allow you to get a variety of different skills from that sort of a smaller theatre community?
No, ironically, I didn't start theatre until I was in high school. In grade 12 was when I started theatre. Until then, I'd been singing. So I've been singing since I was in grade 2, since I was 7. So I was a boy soprano, believe it or not, and toured with boys choirs and did all that. So I did a lot of choral stuff growing up. So, but there was no theatre until high school. So.
Man alive. And kind of appropriate that you're from the home of Shania Twain for Uptown Country Girls.
Right.
But he doesn't sing any Shania Twain.
No. Well, I'm going to move over to the international star of the production. Let's journey across the ocean, shall we? Nikki Ponte has appeared on X Factor in Greece, ran through quite a bit of the process up to 3rd place. And from that, signed with Sony Music Entertainment Greece, and were one of 6 candidates selected to represent Greece in the Eurovision Song Contest 2011. I kind of get the feeling, having some Greek friends, that it's a pretty close-knit community, so you must have been recognized absolutely everywhere.
It was really strange, to be honest, like being recognized on the streets, and just kind of took a little bit of getting used to, but yeah, it was a pretty awesome experience. Pretty flattering.
The list of songs that you performed for X Factor that I saw online seems to be a lot of pop hits and even something by the big Greek superstar Melina Mercouri. We have a few other people that have been in competitions. Do you have a lot of say in what you're able to pick, or is some of that stuff chosen for you?
At the beginning, it was pretty much, this is the song that you're singing and that's it. Even down to the keys of the song that they wanted you to sing them in. And it's like, but I'm screaming. But that's just how it was. And then slowly you build the relationship with your coach and stuff, and they allow you more freedom to sort of pick your own songs and do a little bit of your own staging and stuff like that. So by the end of it, it was okay.
Now, beyond the introduction you received to audiences with X Factor, you've had other TV appearances and a number of music critics, so you've had a pretty wide degree of exposure already in your career.
I sort of did the opposite thing. I live the life of a wanderer. Like, I don't have a home. I just kind of jump from place to place doing different things, and I'm quite happy doing that right now. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff that I kind of crammed into the last few years of my life. Yeah.
I also see that you have 10 years of opera training. So does that kind of come in awfully handy if you have a career path of musical theater?
Oh yeah, awfully handy. It just kind of helps to keep your voice healthy, especially, the last couple of years I've been doing a lot of nightclub shows, and that involves a lot of yelling over music and a lot of smoky places, and it's good to have that foundation just to keep everything, healthy and good stamina.
Yep, excellent training. So with all of that experience overseas, does it feel a little bit like you're starting over here in Canada though with your career?
It's strange, I'm still attached to the pop world, and I still make it a point to work on my solo projects and do stuff like that still. It's not like I've left it behind, but I just missed the theater so much. I enjoy this so much. It feels like I've taken, oddly, a step up just because I'm working with these guys and everything. This is my first show since I've been back, so it's been an amazing experience, and I love everything about the show and what I'm doing here, so I don't feel that way at all, honestly. So
Elicia MacKenzie, of course, we saw you go all the way through to winning the How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria, and on to the run with that, which was over 1,000 performances.
Yeah, it was a lot of shows. Yeah. It was pretty amazing, though.
Pretty cool stuff. I got to tell you, I went and looked at your website, and I would consider you all still fairly young as far as compared to me. But what an impressive site, and what an amazing bunch of accomplishments that you've had already.
Thank you so much.
Do you have any out-of-body moments where you just sort of look back and wonder how, as a singer or actor, you're where you're at already?
Oh gosh, I kind of feel like there's so much for me to accomplish still. I don't really think of it that way, but it was pretty amazing for me having that experience of being on the television show and getting the exposure that I had. It's given me a lot of opportunities, and it's been a great thing in my life.
So among that, Sound of Music, as I say, Rock of Ages, both here in Canada and in the States, regional theater, film and television. But you also, in the whole process, the coolest thing I think for me is got to meet a legend of musical theater in Andrew Lloyd Webber and John Barrowman from Canada, for God's sake.
You like John Barrowman?
Well, more just the connection to theater is amazing, and I keep telling people over and over and over again, we get the cream of the crop in here, and it's really a fortunate thing for people to be able to come to a venue like this and see some people that have already starting to make a name for themselves or have had some big success already. So but to kind of have a touch point with someone like Andrew Lloyd Webber, how does that feel?
It's pretty awesome. It's a little surreal sometimes that I've actually met him and talked to him and had dinner with him one day too. It was pretty amazing. it'd be great to pick his brain, but he's kind of hard to understand. So it's just a British accent.
It's too long.
But he's pretty brilliant. So, yeah. So.
No, that's, I think you've arrived when you're doing some work with that gentleman. Now, I also see that in addition to doing your theater, live theater, I see stuff with some different symphonies and stuff. So you've obviously still trying to groom a musical career as well?
Yes. I like Nikki a little bit, but I do love the pop side and just the singing part. And getting to do this show, which is sort of outside of music theater, has been really great too, to sort of just kind of have a concert sort of type show where we get to all show off a bit. Yeah, it's been nice.
And I see that some of those things have a charitable side as well.
Yes.
Which is very nice.
Yes, it's nice
Excellent. So, awards. 2009 Dora Maver Moore Award for outstanding performance.
Yeah.
And I see also, I also see that I didn't bring all my notes there. So, but congratulations on garnering awards already.
Oh, thank you so much.
Now, interestingly enough, I have listened to a number of Christmas albums over the year, but you've recorded a Christmas album.
I just did. This past summer, I just decided I was home for the summer, so why not kind of make a project for myself, and decided the best thing to do would be to do a Christmas CD, and I love Christmas songs, so it was a great first project for me to start on. Yeah.
And most people would probably do either some cover songs or some original little things, but you decided to do Christmas albums.
I did,
cool.
yeah. Yeah, maybe next time, but I thought it would be probably the best thing for me to start with, at least. Yeah, and I have a love for Christmas songs and Christmas albums, Christmas music, so I picked my favorites, and yeah, it was a great time.
Well, I'll have to run out and have a look at that.
Where can you buy it?
You can buy it on iTunes, or I'll go to my website and you can find out how to buy it there.
Would that be AliciaMacKenzie.com?
You guys are great.
We'll have to go around and remind everybody of the wonderful websites, because everybody's got great presence online. It's just amazing now how much easier this is. Joel Gomez. Okay, this is just a little side note from where I was sitting, and I don't know, you can take this as you want, but from certain angles and certain poses that you were striking up there, you looked a lot like Pat Monahan from Train. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Just an observation.
Thanks.
But as far as your acting, you're a fairly recent graduate of Sheridan Institute.
Yeah, that's right. Just last year I graduated.
Man.
Yeah.
But that said, you already gained a lot of notice for your role as Mark in Rent. And did you get the Best Student Actor Award?
That actually hasn't been awarded yet.
Oh, no kidding.
So we'll see what happens with that. It's pretty cool to be a nominee, though.
It's gotta be you. Yeah.
We'll see, I guess. It's kind of cool, though. It's been nice to get a little bit of recognition.
Oh, yeah.
Especially coming right out of school. It's been like a real honor.
Yeah, rave reviews I saw. I also read an earlier interview that you did that one of your biggest passions is actually the music side of things.
Yeah.
So you're currently writing music for yourself, but also other artists.
Yeah. I just did a commission recently for Fire Safety Board.
Oh my god, it's so good.
It's
No kidding.
because they made one like in the 90s, and it was like this like cheesy like 90s pop song about fire safety, and it circulated around schools and on TV and stuff. So they wanted to update it, and I got commissioned, and I did the music, and another girl wrote the lyrics, and we both sang on it, and we're in the
Sing it.
I don't know if I actually don't think I'm allowed to sing it.
Oh, is it copyright?
It's not lit. I don't think I can yet. Sorry.
You'll just have to wait.
That's a teaser. But if you have,
Guessing.
what area of the country is it playing in when it does run?
I actually don't know. I know that they showed it to some students at a school in Brampton, Ontario, and apparently they were all singing it, and so that was really good news to hear about that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You never know what's going to go out there.
That's true.
So what influences you if your passion is really music?
I have a whole bunch of influences. I like to listen to a lot of different kinds of music. Growing up, I listened to a lot of soundtracks, movie soundtracks. So I kind of have this like tendency towards orchestral, like really big sounds when I want to write music. Just because I like orchestral and soundtracks from movies and television. So that usually, but it's always sort of in the pop vein, but I like to like fill out the sound musically. Yeah.
Excellent. Does musical theater give you enough of a bite into that though?
You know what? Yes. I actually, when I started school, I didn't think of myself as an actor at all. And it kind of terrified me. I felt like I got in because I could sing, and that's why I went to the school. But throughout the process, I fell in love with acting, and now I find that I miss being in a show that has a through line and has character development, because there's something really great that you can sink your teeth into with a good character, like Mark in Rent or other shows too. Yeah. But
did you ever think that you might find yourself at one point perhaps donning a blonde wig and sort of being Dolly Parton in the middle of nowhere?
People loving it. People are loving it.
It's you. It's fun. And how can you know what it elicits a nice response, and you just can't help but feel a little bit of love. So I always look forward to it. Actually,
it's a great moment.
Yeah.
Cyndi, Carleton, you are. As well as the young lady beside you, have been in a production of Marvelous Wonderettes. Different production.
Yeah, and actually the Winter Wonderettes as well. So.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
There's a Winter Wonderette.
Of course there is. Yes.
There's a potential country Christmas song, Walking in the Winter. No, that's just wrong.
Exactly. That's in the show. Anyway, yeah, exactly.
You have got a whole raft of country appearances and stuff that you've been a part of for quite a while. And I couldn't help but notice that you have a running gig with one of the better-known Canadian Elvis tribute artists.
I certainly do, yes.
Stephen Kabakos?
Kabakos,
Yeah.
exactly.
I saw him years ago when he was first kind of getting going. I think it was the second Penticton Elvis Festival.
I was there.
No kidding!
I was totally there, yeah.
Incredible!
Awesome, yeah.
Oh, that guy raises it up. He's amazing. Yeah.
He really is something else to watch perform. Actually, like honestly, I don't tell the Elvis purists that, but there are some songs that he sings that I think he sings better than Elvis. So yeah, he's really something to watch, and I've been singing with him for so long.
Oh my gosh.
And it's because the music is always good.
Yeah.
And he really cares about really paying tribute to Elvis. Like he doesn't think he's Elvis by any means, but he really respects Elvis.
Yeah.
So it's always a good time, for sure.
So how does something like that come upon you?
I know, it's so bizarre. And then you end up doing shows about Elvis. Like it's one of those funny things. But I was just doing another show in Kitchener-Waterloo, and one of the band members knew one of the band members, and they were looking for a new female backup singer because Steve had a girl who was a singing teacher and she was leaving town, so they were looking for someone. So I said, I don't have anything else coming up for the next little bit. Sure, that sounds like a hoot. And they gave me a CD and said, listen to the female part, come in and audition. And I went to this barn in Milton, Ontario, which is like this farm, with like 13 guys. So I sang, and they're like, you don't mind hanging out with guys, like 13 of us? And I was like, no, I have 3 brothers. I'm cool. So yeah, I've just been doing it kind of off and on ever since.
Crazy stuff. A small world too. I had no idea that.
Hilarious. Penticton's awesome.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
Oh, cool.
And they do a really incredible. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they were running for quite a while.
Mm-hmm. I went for 2 years, so yeah, it was awesome. Good times.
So you also have another big project that you are fostering, the Best of Women in Song project with the Songbirds.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. So I've been singing with there's 4 of us and 4 girls, and I've been singing with these girls for a number of years, and we started off doing an Andrew Sisters swing trio, which is awesome. But when we would get together and start singing, we realized how much music we loved and how much music collectively we could sing together. So it was kind of brainchild of mine to say, we need to do more than just swing here. Like, you can sing pop like nobody's business. You can sing country and folk music, and I can sing music theater. And so, why don't we make a show together? So we've tried to get as many different genres and music throughout the ages. So as we say, from opera to Lady Gaga, from Dolly Parton to Aretha Franklin, we sing it all. Mm-hmm. So we do our own arrangements, our own kind of mashups of songs. So yeah, we're on a hiatus right now because I'm here and one of the girls just had a baby, but
that'll do it.
yeah, exactly. So we're a little busy right now, but yeah.
And people can perhaps view little clips of that online by any chance?
Absolutely, on YouTube, on our website, thesongbirds.com.
Or .ca.
.ca, yeah.
.ca.
It is .ca, that's right. And you can follow us on Twitter, the Songbirds 4.
I'll have to go check that out. I didn't see the Twitter link. But you guys have opera, Lady Gaga, Dolly Parton, Aretha Franklin, and even more just in some of the video clips that I'm alluding to there.
Yeah, nice.
So you offer a pretty diverse night of entertainment for fans of female vocals.
Exactly. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Cool.
Now, beside you, there's a star of a commercial, but I see that you've got a bit of a string of commercial credits as well.
Yes.
Out East, Pizza,
yes.
Johnson & Johnson, and a few more.
Yes, yes. When I can, when I'm in town, I tend to do a few things. So
it's a cool opportunity. People don't realize they can stretch their wings in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's good. It's always ridiculous because you're always asked to do the most silly things, but when the opportunities are there, it's really great to. I don't know. I just always have found it fun. Not everybody loves the process, but I've always enjoyed it.
It's tough, and that's the challenge. I've talked about this in a number of different interviews, that as a Canadian actor in particular, it's tough because you are on the road all the time, and it's a challenge to try and put down roots and be able to do something. So stuff like that is just a wonderful opportunity. Good luck.
Thanks.
Amber Bissonnette, who I've talked to before as a cast member of The Marvelous Wonderettes, which is still one of the hotly downloaded podcast interviews in my series. Just remarkable. So thanks for that.
Hey, no problem.
I wasn't aware in my prior fact-finding search on you that you have spent your entire career in Alberta productions.
Yeah.
Good on you. How challenging has that been to keep going?
It's challenging in that it's necessary to diversify, much like JP has found himself behind the table and on the production side of things. I've also had to do that. I'm a choreographer as well. I'm also a dance teacher and a musical theater teacher. So on top of performing, as a musician, not just as a theater performer, I sometimes play mandolin for the James Murdoch Band. So I mean, you've got to have as many tools in your tool belt as you possibly can to not have to serve tables.
Well, that would go down as another thing I didn't know, that you played mandolin. That's crazy stuff. Now, you did mention that I think you also have a dual role here as dance captain, and you have a background as choreographer. Is it a little daunting to have the co-creator being someone like Tim French, who has done choreography for stuff like The Producers and had Mel Brooks come down and keep an eye on him? Or do you have a big say in how
all.
this?
Tim in particular is a man who understands that we're all playing the same game.
Yeah.
He walks into the room with a smile on his face and a positive and professional attitude. Mm-hmm. He treats everybody equally. We even had the opportunity to riff out some of the choreography for the show together, which was fun. No, I mean, as far as my job as dance captain, once Tim departs, it's then my job to make sure I just maintain his vision and give it a little help in certain places where Tim's eyes have to be everywhere, because when he's the director and choreographer, he has so many responsibilities. So yeah, we're all playing the same game, and Tim is a gem. He's wonderful.
Now, you've also got a load of credits with Hit and Myth Ground Zero, another great Calgary theatre institution. Do you see a big difference between a traditional theatre venue and something like Stage West when you're when you're doing your different roles.
Oh, absolutely. Commercial theater and independent, gritty theater are definitely two opposite ends of the spectrum. I wouldn't say that my approach to a show on the commercial end or on the independent end differ too much, because I've grown to understand what my process is as a performer. And so you just kind of have to give it the same effort and love and attention to detail. There's a whole whack of challenges in a review show like this that obviously don't present themselves when you're doing transitional movement for gruesome playground injuries, right? That had its own challenges for sure. Every show has its challenges, and it's how you meet them.
In addition to doing your theater, choreography, and mandolin, you also do some background vocals for some different artists. Yeah,
I do. I play for a tribute band, sort of, called Going to Graceland.
Oh.
And we do Paul Simon's Graceland cover kind of thing.
Wow.
A similar group of people. We also did the entire album of Rumors. My partner, James Murdoch, also runs a studio in Edmonton called the Norwood Studio, and I've sung backup vocals on a whole whack of independent albums that they've made there, and I sing backup vocals for him as well. So, yeah.
So being confined to Alberta doesn't seem to be holding you down at all.
You know what? I would not even for a second think of it being confined. I am so lucky to have the sense of community that I have in Edmonton and in Calgary, even working with JP and Canmore as choreographer. I find a great deal of my friends from the Toronto area or even Vancouver do have to travel, like we were all saying, they have to travel to all ends because it's a population density thing, right? I mean people go to Toronto because that's where so many things start. Like it's a audition epicenter. But I'm so lucky and so blessed to have spent the past, I'd say, 15 years creating such a beloved sense of community in this province, in this theater community. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So if anybody wanted to find out, aside from going back into the archives and watching the Marvelous Wonderettes cast interview, how do we find Amber online?
You know what? I don't have a website.
Oh my gosh!
How has she ever made a go of it? It's all about connections for me. I'm sure I've done a disservice to myself to some extent, not having a website, but hasn't kept me back yet.
Well, we will find you one way or the other, and if it's in a live performance, that's even better. Did we get your website link?
CindyCarleton.ca.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You can follow me or you can like me on Facebook, Joel Gomez.
Perfect.
AliciaMacKenzie.ca.
There we go. A great website, as I said.
I have a Vivo channel, but I also really like to communicate with fans through Facebook and Twitter, so that's probably the best place.
Perfect. Okay. I'll have any links that I can.
And Facebook, Twitter, or jptutor.ca.
Wonderful. Well, guys, I know you're looking to get back out and get a little bit of a break here before the next run. So thanks again, as always, for participating, and have a great run while you're here.
Thank you.